Good morning. Alright, today's gonna be a boring stream. Boring stream for boring. There's loads to do, loads to talk about. Is this music loud for anyone else? It was a little loud. The audio at. My audio should be fine. I cranked it. I feel like minus 30. This is pretty low, but my headphones think it's loud, so we're keeping it. Okay, before we go anywhere, special news, why the Y counter still works. Its refresh rate is a little bit low, but that's fine, because we want it to actually pick up what I say, and not what I don't not say, you know? I think it missed one. Alright, well, that's running in the background. I'm not even going to show the code because it was all vibe coded bullshit anyway. Let's discuss the things that I've done. I have gone through and I've added a lot of routes to the back end. We can see here things like backgrounds are all hooked up. You can go through and you can query the backgrounds. You can query the classes and the features and the items and the species and all that stuff. None of this is perfect. None of this is done. None of this is even close to being correct or accurate. I went through, I had Claude do some work, the magical machine that is Claude. It's not magic. It makes a lot of mistakes I have to fix. And it's gone through and it's added things like feats. This is not done because the bot did not do a good job. You can see things like, well, I guess just in the feats, obviously, this should give you proficiency in initiative, and it does not. It does not give you dex saving throw proficiency, which is bad. Yeah, so it's like a lot of this stuff has to go through and be changed. I noticed a big issue with the backgrounds where it just was giving you just the name, which was not correct. I had to go through and change all that stuff. When I go through and implement the front end for this so you can actually see this, let's go take a look at that really quick. It'll be here. It's not hooked up. It's not hooked up. Why did that not hook up? Oh, because I updated the background. This should be... There we go. Get some music, huh? If we look at the front end here, just give ourselves a random... I should just have it create an admin account for me in the seed data. We look here, there's a whole reference tab. This is where all that stuff will go. But that's not done yet because I've been working on this stuff. Why is there blue on the screen? What is there? There's blue, like, here. Why is there blue? What is that from? Is that MS Paint? That should not be visible. Okay, I'm gonna make that go away. We don't need paint. Okay. So what was I doing? I've got all these seeds for things, right? And I've gone through and I've officially added all of them. I'm pretty sure I haven't missed one. So we got backgrounds, classes, features, items, species, spells, users, versions. Well, subclasses. Also, these are not correct. I just looked at these like half an hour ago. Because I wanted to double check everything before stream, and this is not correct at all. So I have to go through and manually do all this work. Okay, subclasses are in here. These should be in its own seed file. That seems obvious, plainly obvious. Okay, so we need a subclass route. Let's do that really quick. That should be fairly simple. So we need a new folder. I'll just show you how this works. Sub classes. And then I will copy over the last one I did, which was species. We will rename this. A lot of these are very similar. If I was going to make them all the same kind of format, I would have done this a little bit more generally, but because they're all going to become different as I build out different features and things, they'll need to have their separate folder and be well organized and things of that nature. So this route is here. Let's take, now we've got species. I'm going to replace every instance of the word species with the word subclass. Whoops, that's not correct. Every instance of the word species with the word subclass, like this. Okay. And then every instance of the word species, capital, with subclass. There is one, which is that get subclasses. Okay, this is a little bit of trouble. So should we get all subclasses? We'll have to manually go through these ones because of the way that English works. Kind of a pain in the ass, but that's okay. That should only be an issue there. Everywhere else should be fine. And then in route, or this is not correct. Should be here. Why was this route even open? That's bizarre. In here, we want to replace all species with subclass. We want to replace all lowercase species with subclass. There's probably a simpler way to do this. I could probably just write a script to it. And then wherever all subclass is here, should be, why did it do that? Get subclasses, subclasses equals a weight, at length, there we go. That should be fine. There should be no more finer in place. We can also break this out over here. We go look at our subclass. Let's see, look, we've got our ID, our name, our class ID, and our class relation. So up here in select is what we're going to change first. We want to get the name, the ID, the name, the class ID. We need granted features. We don't need the languages, because if a subclass grants you a language, it'll be under features. It won't be language. Same thing with speed. There's one thing that class is missing that I just noticed, that I just remembered, which is that class gives you your ability, your primary ability scores, and saving throws. So I need to add those in. We should add a note for that somewhere. I should have a to-do list. I should have a Jira for this. It might make sense given how much work I've actually done, and it would pay to be organized. I'd benefit from organization. I want to add a description. The thing with the SRD is that most things by default do not have a description. I don't know why that is. I won't show you the... Well, I can show the SRD on stream, right? I don't care enough to open it. Most things have a description, and for a lot of the stuff in the SRD, it just doesn't. What's up, Mr. Tiny Big Brain? How's it going? How's it going? So I should probably add a description for class as well, but I'll do that in a little bit. So we've got ID, name, we need class ID. I'm doing okay. Class ID, we need description. The class will link automatically, so we don't need to select it. Oh no, I do want to select it. I do want to select it. I don't. No, I don't. Because if I'm pulling the subclass for a class, I'll already know what class it is, so not needed at all. We need the... Why is this crying? No, stop that. Oh, well, I'm trying to read. Granted features, we need their ID. We need the feature overrides, that's important. So some of the classes and subclasses use the same named features as others. So, like, you'll have extra attack, right? And an attack can give you more than one attack, essentially. I don't think this actually happens anywhere in the SRD, but theoretically, an extra attack could give you 2 extra attacks. So, like, let's say you've got a barbarian, their extra attack gives you 1. And then let's say you've got, like, a fighter, and their extra attack, it gives you 3. That's not how it actually works, I know. They're using the same feature called extra attack, but the wording and the verbiage is different. So I added this feature overrides JSON, which basically says, hey, you're looking at this subclass, you see this feature name, instead of using the description for that feature as written in the actual features table, you're going to override it with this description as given by the subclass. That's going to be complicated later on. I will have to do that. This needs more work. So we got class ID, description, feature overrides, granted features, and then characters get their subclass. So that's just a backlink. We don't need to include that. And then the subclass blurb text, or the subclass blurb, this should be fine. Just ID in the name. This is for when you're, like, pulling all of these subclasses. You want to know what you got. Maybe we should pull the class name along with it. Let's do that. So that's class, which is this, select name. True. Save that. That'll get linted for me. Thank you, linting. Oh. Now, in here, we're just gonna copy this shit all in. This is what I've been doing for, like, hours. I've been working for like 10 hours on all this stuff. It doesn't look like it. I don't have much to show for it, but that's programming for you, baby. It's a lot of just doing the same shit over and over again until you get the different result you want. Okay. So that's that. Now in the create, I need to grab this. We're going to come down here. We're going to build this out. Now, this is at the point where I've done this enough that I think Claude could look at the data that I have and do it. But given how badly it's fucked up a lot of stuff, I don't want to have to go through and fix everything it breaks. Like, for some reason it thinks that features, I've got this features table, should be called feats, and so at every possible instance, that Claude can try to change the word feature to feat, it does so, which breaks everything constantly. It's very annoying. What's the goal of the app? The goal of the app is, well, I'll just explain it. I'll explain it with a picture. This is, oh, flashbang. Sorry, there's no dark mode on Lucidchart. You've got your name brand hosted D&D character sheet online. Take your pick. There's like 4 of them. They have their own database, and you log into their stuff, usually paying some small fee. And you get a very limited selection of what you can do in Dungeons & Dragons or similar TTRPG role-playing games. TTRPGs. I do use these services, but they've not been serving me well lately, because as I grow as a DM, the things I want to do are outside of the rule set, as specified by Wizards of the Coast. So I want to create a Wizards of the Coast agnostic character sheet app that allows you to do things that are a little bit more involved, like create new classes, add new languages, things of that sort. Stuff that you can't really get into in like D&D Beyond, for example. Just use an example. I'm not naming anyone specifically, but what this would mean is that using our like less centralized character sheet system called OpenSheet, you would download the app to your own computer, so you'd own all of the data on it. It would be completely open source, so if you found a bug, you could go through and change it. You would host it for your friends or for your party, depending on how you roll. And they'd be able to log in, set up their own character, join their own campaigns, run their own campaigns if they're a GM as well. And I mean, that's the long and short of it. There's a lot of work to go in for something that's going to be entirely free, but you know, we'll see. I've not yet come up with a way to monetize an open source free app, so you know, that's not really what I'm going for anyway. Okay. Subclass create. I just pasted. Okay, so these are all booleans. We need to change them to their actual value, which will be subclass .id. Thank you. Subclass description. This is upset about feature overrides. Does not exist on type. What are you talking about? Oh, subclass doesn't have that. Alright, I'll have to go through and change that. And then granted features, this is not correct. I need to go to grab that. It'll be a connect, right? One of these connect map patterns I have going. Cool, connect. This is a subclass. Granted features. No, it doesn't need languages. No. You don't get languages from your subclass like that. Your subclass gives you features. Okay. Now, this needs to get copied down to modify. Modify won't actually work like this in the final version. This is just my temp stuff. The modify is going to be much more sophisticated. But you shouldn't notice that, obviously, as a front-end user. And then if we go down to our types, let me get my schema out of the way here. That sounds inappropriate, but it's called schema. Really doesn't sound very good at all. We need subclass. There we go. Okay, subclass is actually going to be more than one type. It's going to be subclass blurb, which is a pared down something or other. Class name, right? No, it's just called class, but it takes the name, so it's a string. And it's not or null, it's guaranteed. Granted features are a list of features. That is correct. Or they're really a list of strings, a list of IDs, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and then we need feature overrides. This is new. Overrides, am I spelling that right? And that is JSON data. Type JSON is not assignable to type nullable JSON value, undefined. I've done this before. How did I do this before? Description? There's no description. That's not correct. String or null, because it's not required. That stuff all needs to go in here as well. Data dot description equals string. Oh, there we go. We need feature overrides. How can the class ID be null? No, this should not be nullable. Yeah, that should not be nullable. That would be a big issue if it were null. Having a subclass with no class seems like a fool's errand, a bad idea. Type of data dot feature overrides now? Yeah, as an object. And we need a is subclass blurb. Data class is string. That should all be good. What is this crying about now? JSON's not sendable type, but JSON undefined. Index signature for type string is missing in the type JSON. What? How it is? What else uses this? I think backgrounds uses this, so let's see what I do there. Because I thought this was very simple. Alright, equipment. This specifies the JSON structure. Which for feature overrides, let's see what that does. I'd really love to put this on the right panel, thank you. I'm being classes. For some reason. So this is just key value pairs. That's not how I would have done it. I might change that. I might change that. That's not quite what I want. Yeah, that's not even proper JSON structure. That's gotta change. All right. I want to go through and change it now. Get Claude to change it. Let's see if Claude can change it. You won't be able to see the window because it just displays my name for some reason, which I don't like. Here, this was from 2 days ago. That's fun. Change all class overrides to a list of objects. The format, feature name, comma description. Okay, let's see how long that takes. That'll take a little bit. So, for now I can apply the database changes. The way I do that is just npm run SQL change, and it should go through and do all that stuff. We can take a look at the seeding. Yippee. That nuked our admin profile. It nuked the whole database because I'm in development, so I'm using all seeded data, so I don't have to worry about migrations at all. I can just completely nuke it and come back and restart. Yippee. It's not running. Why did that break? No user found. Yes, correct. Okay, there's some other issue with the database. I can't quite see. See what Claude's up to. It's editing the classes.ts file. So that's good. Maybe the seed failed or something. I don't know. I can just keep working on this. Now that I know what the actual JSON will look like, we can specify its type. So if we look at backgrounds, this is what it got. It got name this thing. So I'm just going to steal this directly. Incredibly stolen. Feature overrides is going to be a list of feature name, assuming that Claude can pull through, which I'm not holding my breath. And a description, which is a string. Oh. You couldn't see that. I changed this because I forgot to move my window back. Do I have T? There we go. What is next? What is next? Subclasses. Get all subclass. No, get subclasses. Yippee. That fixed the typing error here. That should be correct. Did Claude do it? All 12 are done. I mean, cool, but it did fuck up everything else. Where's my seed file for classes? Right here. Okay, that's fine. Feature name, description. Good job. That's what I wanted. That's what it should have been at the start. I don't know why it would have done anything else. Running key value pairs like that is not proper formatting. You can do it, it's just incredibly stupid. Which is fine. I mean, I do dumb stuff all the time. You know, I've come to a conclusion on using AI. I've had a few people say you could just do this all with AI, and it would do it in like 10 minutes. Fucking no, it wouldn't. I tried that. It right now it feels like it's at the level of maybe like a really new junior dev right out of college who knows like the basics of code, but they know how to code, but they don't know anything about how data works. like data structures and things. You kind of have to understand. And I didn't get that when I took data structures in college. That the whole world is organized very properly, and any attempt to do that with code needs to have special care and attention that AI just doesn't grasp yet. I don't know, give it like 5 years. Yeah, you can't do it all with AI. At least not the first time. If you ran it a bunch, like if I had this running 24/7, it might get something, but I'd still have to go through and make it correct. It also defeats the purpose of, like, I wanted a very niche or a very specific product to be made that no one else will fund, so I have to do it myself, and like getting Claude to do it's not making it the specific thing that I want, so you know. Okay, I think I'm gonna spot. Let's look at an app. This is an application called Postman. Is the text big enough? I tried to make the text big enough. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you all. It's not. This is as big as I can make the screen, okay? Before you start losing information. This should be fine. This is a service called Postman. It is free. You can pay for it if you'd like. I don't know what paying for it gets you, but it's free. This allows you to query APIs, so web APIs, things like I've got set up here. You'll notice up here is kind of similar to your browser. When you go to https whatever on your computer. Hang on, please hold. Please hold for the music. And then down here is what's returned. This is all in JSON data. That's how modern applications interact with each other, is they send these JavaScript objects back and forth to each other. In most cases. Sometimes it's not JSON, sometimes, but for like 90% of things the web does these days, it's JSON data. Not by volume. By volume, everyone's streaming video. So by volume, everything is like a byte stream. But everything that's not video is JSON. Okay, I'm gonna stop qualifying it. We're just gonna get it into the thing. I should be able to query now. I forgot to hook up the route. Hang on, please hold. Port subclass. Routes. From, nope, this is not correct. I don't know why I'd filled all that in. That's wrong. For some reason, the word subclass is just not in my typing vocabulary. It's very out of, it's not in my hands at all. It's freaking me out. I've had, like, trouble spelling it 5 times already today. Okay. Rerunning this now. If we go back to Postman. Up here with API, I can type, I should be able to type subclasses. And if I hit send, I'm not logged in. I can log in like this. No user. I'm very smart. And because I'm so smart, I remember that I forgot to make a user. Why is it broken now? What happened? Alright. Debugging time. This was working like 5 minutes ago. No user found. Yeah, that's the point. That's the point. Am I stupid? What's going on with my authentication routes now? No, it'll be under user setup. Username, email, password, correct? Setup, which is in here. So it's looking for admin. If it can't find it, or if it does find it, admin already exists, but that's not the error I'm getting. Unless it is. I'm just going to nuke the database again. I'm gonna call it a day. Please hold. Yeah, this is strange. This is new. User not found. Yeah, that's yes. Why is it trying to authenticate with a JWT token for... The Y counter is going up. The Y counter is getting a lot of use today. I'm very confused. No, the setup route does not use JWT at all. It does. So getting all the users does. Setup does not. Create user does. It shouldn't be creating user unless... User never changed. At least not since the last time I pushed. I'm gonna look at the front end, the client, and I'm gonna see, did anything change with the view? So setup still validates passwords. Run setup store.setup, which is in my stores. API user setup. Username, password, email, role. Okay, so that should be fine. All this should work. This should work. I am very confused. Let's try and run this through Postman. Oh, you couldn't even see that. OpenSheet was in the way. Damn. Let's add a new thing. Not really what I needed. API auth, no. API users. Setup. And then this needs body form data. How does auth work? Auth login has body. Oh, it's raw. Okay. Be a post. Raw. Be username, password, email, right? Or it must be double quoted. Okay. Cool. Cool, cool. Can I save this? Save. Now. Setup should work. Connection refused. What the shit? Why? The Y counter's getting a lot of use. I'm restarting the server. This is fun. If you ever want to know what being a programmer is like, it's 90% of this. Okay. Setup. Invalid request body. Oh, it needs a role. It actually discards the role immediately, but it needs it for type checking. Just as a safety thing. User created. Why is the front end not doing that? You know what? I'm not working on the front end right now. I'm working on the back end. I need to compartmentalize my whole life here. Okay. So now we're logged in. This is what you get returned, by the way, when you send out a login request. And now we can do what we came here to do, which was ping the subclasses route, and we've done it. Alright, we've got the Berserker, College of Lore, Life Domain, Circle of the Land, Champion. Cool. Yippee. All 12, there's only 12 subclasses in the SRD? Huh. Alright. I thought they gave you 3 for each. I didn't realize Wansi was that stingy with the SRD. I should clarify, this is going to be for 5.5e. I'm not doing this for 3.5 right now. Or 5e. At some point, I'd love to go through and add new systems. Getting just 5.5e, which is a very slim system compared to things like 3.5 or in Pathfinder, I don't know how I'd be able to. I'd have to have some way for plugins for us to do plugins, and the community would have to write those because I don't have the time or the money. Something that does not come across is doing this is very, very expensive in terms of time. Time is money. They say that because it's true. Sitting down and coding like Pathfinder 2 into this, or let me look at the shelf behind me. Like Star Wars Edge or Daggerheart or anything would take a ton of time. Daggerheart might be worth it just because a lot of people would use it. And because those systems don't have an SRD, I'd have to go license that stuff, which is not something I'm gonna do with no money. Like that's a pain in the ass. So we say thank you to Wansi for the SRD and for the OGL. Although I'm not selling it, so I don't really have to adhere to that, but cool. That worked. What next? Okay, let's do a front end thing because I think it'll be fun. Let's display the items in the front end. How do I want to do this? Is a question I ask every once in a while when an NPC kills a boss. Okay, I'd spend the time and write a really good commit message for this, but I'm the only one in the repo and I'm committing right to main, so no, I probably should be a little bit less vulgar. Ends, new routes to the API. We're gonna call it that. There we go. Standards are for nerds. People working in groups. I'm not doing either of those. I'm a nerd, but I'm not working in a group, so I don't have to care. I'm also pretty lazy, I'll be honest. Okay. Front end. What I want, I'm going to describe verbally what I want, so that everyone knows what I'm aiming for, and we're going to see if I hit it. When you click reference, I want there to be a list of things that you can look at, like items and classes and subclasses and languages, and I want you to be able to click on those, and I want a list to come up of all that stuff, and then I want you to, basically this is going to be a database search tool for everything that's in the SRD currently. This music is very loud in my headphones. This is the goal. This is what it's all about. What I've been doing for the last week and a half is all accumulating towards this area. So let's do that. First things first, we're working on the client side. That is out here. I need a store for items. Items.ts. I'm going to model this off of characters. And then I'm going to disregard a lot of the stuff that's in here. But for the time being, I don't need a mod. I'm not going to worry about that. Modifying and creating stuff is going to come later. What I want to get working first, and I've got that stuff set up in the back end just as a placeholder for the time being. What I want to get done first is basically the full app, but just with these items from the SRD. So giving the ability to make characters using just the SRD, and that's it. Then I'll add all of the custom stuff, all of the homebrew on top of it, because the groundwork should be laid and we should be ready to go. We should be in town. You know, if we spend all of our time pretending like we're in town when we're not there yet, it's not gonna work. So we gotta get in the car and we gotta go there. I need to change the word character to item. And I need to change the word item or character to item with a lowercase I. And that should be basically it. All of this stuff should just kind of work. Hopefully, I'll double check. Get item blurbs. That is fine. Should it just be get items? And then get item to match the back end. What this is called standardization, everyone. This is what it's all about. And then delete item. I don't care about this right now. Go away. So we need delete mod items. Yes, get items, get item, create, go away. There we go. So the super pared down, very simple version of this. We just want 200s. This will have to change. This needs to be more complex later on, because 200 is not the only code you can get that's successful. There are 300 redirects that you're expecting, you know, depending on your firewall and your packet inspection and shit, but 99% of cases won't involve that, so we should be fine. Unless you're playing D&D at the Pentagon. If you're playing D&D at the Pentagon, email me. Because that sounds awesome. Actually, you know what? I don't want the smoke. Don't email me. Just have your fun. I don't want to be a part of that. I'm trying to really stay out of the Pentagon if I can. Okay. Does this need its own view? Can I have I wish I could have sub The way that view organizes views is really kind of annoying. So this should be a general list, right? Right? How do I want to do this? This needs to go in. I need to go in my mind palace for a second. So please hold. I need a title card for Mind Palace where I can just be silent for 5 minutes. I solved it. Okay. That was... This might be wrong. I might be wrong about this. Let me think. I think it's a table. I think it's a table. Let me see what tables I've got on hand. My components. Is it app global? No. Minor components? Or info table? I think it's an info table. And I should really have two flavors of the info table, two different styles. One that's like a list and one that's a proper table. But lists are just tables. Anyway, they're just vertical assortments of data in columnized format. So yeah, that should be good. So in a reference, do I need to use item store? No. No, I need info table. Yeah. And then here we need info table. There we go. How do I do this in other... These are characters, right? Do I need modals? No, I don't need modals. Info table. Give me this. I'll just take all this stuff. So the table we're going to use is, I will just define this here. Constant table equals ref, which I need to import. Thank you. And then the only thing that's going to be in the table right now should be items. Right? Where are my headers going to be? Const headers. Name. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. You know what? I don't think there should be a table at all. I think the table idea was fucking stupid. We're changing it. I was very confident for being so stupid. I need... I don't know. I don't know what I need. Do I've got like a button or something that I can work off of? Direct display box, toast, subcomponent. No, I'll just make a new button. Button. What's going to be in the buttons? I don't know. This should be a 4, because I'm going to use a list. Because it's a list. No, not items. It still thinks we're on items. We're not doing that anymore. Const. Categories. This is not spelled correctly. Sure, but not characters. It should be classes. And I'll add more to this. There we go. Let's see where this gets me. When I open OpenSheet, the front end. Cool, we've got buttons. These look like shit. That's okay. I didn't spell category right, did I? I spelled category correctly first try. You know, I'm not a speller by nature. I'm a... I don't know what I am, but I'm not a speller for sure. Now, how did I do? I've done this before, and I'm just completely blanking on. Okay, so items, classes, spells. Should this be? I want to make this a list of objects with their name like this. I just made the text bigger and I have to make it smaller again. I apologize, everyone. Spells. Subclasses. Species. What else is there? Classes, spells, subclasses, species, languages. Backgrounds. That should really be it for now. I'm sure there's actually probably plenty more to add, but for now that's gonna be it. Now if we go back and we look at OpenSheet, this shall be updated correctly. Correct. I need to edit the button. We need the background color to be RGBA, and I need to have all of this. This needs to be 0. So it should be transparent. We need a border. Just a border. What is the line width, line style, and color? So it should be probably 3 pixels. Solid. And then what color do I have? In my style. I did not add color variables because I am a nincompoop. What did I think I was doing? I have no clue. I have no clue. That's fine. Don't padding. sure, excuse me, oh my gosh. Padding, but I want them to scale at least a little bit, so like 1 rem or something. I should really use view height percentages, but or view width percentages, but I think I'll live. And then yeah, a margin is probably a good idea. Now that should give me something that's a little bit better. I hate it with all my heart though. I think this is abysmal. And the reason for that is because one of these needs to change. I think it's this one. Okay, that's a little bit better. Still not digging this. The buttons are too small. Font size. Set to like 2 rem or something. It's a little bit better. Getting there. Border radius of like 2 pixels just to break the corner. There we go. I'm still not a fan of this, but is on hover not a thing? Oh, it's just dot hover, okay. Just change the background color. We need to change just the color, because of the font. To, well, it's already white. That's better. I still don't like it though. There's something wrong about it. I'm not wrong about there being something wrong about it, right? No, that looks bad too. You know what it is? I think these need like an associated image or something. For now, let's just leave it simple. Having smaller buttons, not gonna hurt anything. Okay. Sure. Now when I click on a button though, it needs to do something. We need to go to a new page. I want that to look like. Maybe not. Maybe this says subroutes. And pardon my cough, everyone. I have bronchitis, and it's very, it's become uncomfortable in like the last 90 minutes. Okay, let's do some subroutes. Okay. This won't do this. No, this should be like use item store. Cool. And then this should be item store.items. Right, this does not need to be buttons anymore. We're gonna actually just drop that whole thing. This is where I'm gonna use the table. Import info table from at, why is this not pulling this up? At components info table, there we go. Can I find module input? What? Why? Minor components. Go, and this is never read. Why is this being pissy? Item store to items has an ID, a name, a description. Okay, I probably need to add that. Where do I actually reference this stuff? Characters, right? Headers, I need to add row operation right, not needed. Left, not needed. Do prop as ID. Name type rarity. No. So this stores an ID, a name, and a description. So I'm just gonna have to display the name. Should really okay, so the items blurb should really tell you the type. I'm now realizing. I like this recommendation. Good recommendation. What is this complaining about? Oh, I see. This is just better linked. Display, and then the table property. Cool. Now I actually want to go back to not the item store, but this. The item blurb down here in shared. because I also want the type. Although, is that what it's even called? Why is there not a type on this? I'm pretty sure there's a type on this. Why is that not here? Yeah, type and subtype are missing. What the hell? There should be a magic? Why is this stuff just not here? Magic. There should be a Boolean. Should be a type. And a subtype. Which is probably not useful. Why is rarity not here either? Should that be an enum? Should probably be an enumeration. For now, I'll leave it off. Is that in the SRD? Is rarity attached to everything? Let me look in the SRD. Hang on. Magic items, page 204. But there are mundane items as well. Yeah, each item has a rarity. Why is this? Huh. Okay, so I just missed the rarity. That's great, thanks. Let's do type and rarity. I guess we can also do magic. Or Boolean. I need to update this. Data dot magic equals Boolean. We need rarity and we need type. There we go. This also needs rarity and type, right? Just copy this stuff over. Basically 1-to-1. Cool. Now we're gonna get our good old buddy Claude to pull that data. Did I actually get the type in the seed? Hang on, I gotta check this really quick. Seed data. Where the hell did I put the seed data for this? Seeds, items. Type is on here. This is just a good, healthy reminder that I need to go through and manually verify literally anything that Claude does. And pull the item, rarity, and magic. Boolean field for every existing item in the DB. Cool. That should be fine. Wait. Okay, do I want anything else on this? That should be fine. Cool. Now we wait. Now we wait. This should all be correct, and then we'll seed the data and all that jazz in a second. Speaking of the devil, I just got an email from DnD Beyond. What's this about? Oh, they're putting together a new actual play. That's cool. Why? I mean, it's fine. You're allowed. But is this going to make them money? You know, I considered starting an actual play. Just as like a podcast. But the market is so incredibly saturated that there's really no room for it right now. Like, unless you're a big dog, there's no what's the point? You know? It's all free. Like, that's the thing, is you can't compete on price. You can only compete on quality. And to do that, you need a lot of money. Because the price is free. The all of the content on YouTube and things is, well, not all of it, but like, you know, 99% of it is free. So how do you compete with free? You don't. You got to do something unique or special. And I don't know that seems difficult. Well, of course it's difficult, but it seems like it'd be kind of complicated to come up with something new, given that everything's been done already. You know? You know. You're smart. Okay, this is taking a while because it's doing data stuff on the back end of parsing things with Python. Which, given that it has access to any language and it shows Python, is baffling. Because it codes faster than all of us. Which means that Python's one significant advantage oh my gosh, that must have been loud, I'm sorry. Basically null and void. Python's one advantage was that it was quick for a human to program in. But the AI is fast enough to just do it in like C or something, I don't know. C# is cool. You need to do it in C#. I guess I could tell it to work in C#. Is files and seeds, is it here? Are we done? Did it do it? Well, it's tabbed in here, which is not correct. Is it done? No, it's still thinking. Oh, it's spot checking. The indentation on the weapon rarity magic field is 16 spaces, versus 12 for the rest of the weapon block. No shit, I saw that. Weapons are in create versus non-weapons and create many. Cool, cool. I would have had to fix that. It can do some checking of what it's doing. That's great. I like that. Cool. It says it's done, so I'm gonna move on. Remember when I said this was gonna be a boring stream? That's what I meant. Okay. Now. All of this should be updated. Except for it's not. I need to go to the server side, the routes, the items. Right, and now I need to select this new stuff here. Like rarity. Magic, and what was the other one? Type? That just was for some reason not on here. ID name type. Type was in here. I don't know why it wasn't. That's bizarre. That's new. So that should be what I need. Right. What's this complaining about? Wait, why is there another select in here? This should just be defined already. Please hold, please hold. Yeah, we definitely don't want this to be defined in here. But select ID name type rarity magic has no properties in common with type item select default args. I'm pretty sure it does. But it shouldn't be using this item select. That's incorrect. It should be using item blurb select. Am I incorrect about that? Oh, hang on. There we go. Should fix it. Alright, now we bring down everything. We completely restart the database. We rerun the server. Cool. And now if we go to Postman, should be able to get out the items at this point. But Connection refused, but I restarted the server. Oh, no user found. That's what it's complaining about. What the heck? Why did that crash? Create a user. Log in. Items. Cool. Club, weapon, common, false. Yippee. We've done it. Now. Should have a name. This should also have a route. There should be dash items. And now in the router, how do I do subroutes in view? I don't remember that part. Oh my gosh, the lung rattle is getting me. Name, type, rarity. Magic. It'll probably be under my router, correct? Subroutes. View. At some point, I'm going to generalize this. For now, I'm going to leave it a little bit ungeneral. But yes, there's a way I can do this that's all data. Okay, then this needs a router view. No, this is not correct. Router view. What is this trying about? Cannot find a category. It's right here. What is it freaking out about? Nothing. Cool. And then inside of the router here, under reference, we've got meta, we need children. Which is a new list of routes that I can define here. Math. Items. Lazy load the items.view and references. We're off to the races. I'm seeing how this comes together. Hang on. I've got, I think, a good view of this. So I click items and it's broken. It didn't work. Why not? Hmm. So hang on, this is also an issue, which is that this needs an on mount. There we go. It's not load items, right? It's get items. Why did that not work? Wait. I think it's something to do with this. So this is like a... Yeah, that probably did it, right? No. Oh, that's the wrong code. Is it reference dash these? This guide is, I gotta be honest, not very helpful. Okay. Maybe that did it. There we go. So now we've got this open, which is not very helpful. Probably need to do some like pagination on all this stuff, huh? But now we've got a list of all of the items that are in the SRD, I think. This seems not correct. Just a weapon that's +1, +2, or +3. Unless that's in the SRD. Let me look. I could stand corrected here. +1 does not even appear to be in the SRD. Oh no. Ammunition and weapon +1, +2, and +3 are in here. Just in general. That's not quite useful information, but it's, you know, it's information. To figure out how to do that at some point. So listen, I love Brain Age, but a lot of that music is gonna make me upset. It's a little bit too, you know, the way that it is. I need something. I don't know, we're gonna go to the hype category. And we're gonna see if that gets it going. If not, maybe it'll be an early night. I don't know. My lungs are really acting up. Okay. So this is, I think, kind of where I want to be now. The dark outline in these is killing me. I think that's probably bad. Could it just be white? But then everything's white. And why do we want that? We had 100 on the white counter. Alright, everyone. Thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah. I'm not feeling this. That's a little better. And then let's move them, let's center them. Let's move this router outside this div, like an adult. Move this into its own div, like an adult. Change our top buttons to have a padding on the bottom, or a margin on the bottom. And then let's align items, center, display, flex this. And that should give us, if I jump back, oh, you couldn't see me changing the code. It's justified constant, isn't it? There we go. Now the buttons are lined up in the center. We can click all these. I want to add a little line here. Should just be an HR tag, correct? No. Yes, it's that tiny dot right there. Which tells me one thing, these need to go in their own div. Sure. This button container needs to have a width of 100. Jump back here. That's not correct for some reason. Why is this not correct? I see. Like this. Cool. And the width is 100% of its parent container, which does not have a proper width. You know, maybe it doesn't need a width 100. Maybe it doesn't. What if it didn't? What if neither of them did? You know, align item center. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's because they're all aligned. I see. Flux wrap, wrap. Should mean now that they stack. Then we get the nice HR at the bottom, which is a... I don't actually remember what that means. It's just an extra line. So now if we pop back up to reference, we're here at reference. Look at items. This is not selected anymore. I need to parse out the reference being inside of that. I'll have to do that at some point. We get this. That's cool. Now, when we click on any of these, we need to get an info window that pops up over top of it that tells you this is what you're looking at, buddy. How is that going to work? How is that going to work? Once I've got this template figured out, this should be very easy to implement for the rest of it. Time consuming, but easy. Something I can put on just like an episode or something and jam out work for, 20 hours or whatever. So not a episode, probably like a lot of actual plays or what have you. Okay. What do I want to do now? I need... I think I did this for characters. Yes, I have a modal overlay. Something already built, right? And here I'm displaying a form, but I can display information as well. So this is the info table. That's chill. We'll add a modal overlay. Got a modal title, which I don't need. This is just... I guess I could have that. Inputs, modal inputs, submit functions. This does not need a submit function, because there doesn't need to be a submit. Okay. So on left click, that's what this means. We're going to take our row, which is a item blurb, and we're going to pass it into open item description, which I need to define up here. I need to import the item blurb type. At... No, it's from shared, right? How do I do this in characters? Here we go. Import item blurb from OpenSheet shared. And then this will item equals, or let item equal await, so this needs to be async. Items store dot get item dot id. So when you click on it, it pings the database and says, give me this item, please. We store that here. Identifier item. Oh, I see. Tree item blurb. There we go. And then we want to open our modal overlay, which I don't remember how to do. But we need a const modal title. Equals ref. It'll just be set to nothing for now. Const inputs? Do I need inputs? What does this do? Okay, this is for the general form stuff. That's not important to me, right? Oh, that's for the form. Yeah, that's not useful. I'm not planning on using that. But we can still have a modal title, surely. We need our close modal, which I definitely remember. Closes the modal dialog and resets the form state. Oh, this is what happens when you actually close it. At close, yeah, I guess I can implement that. Okay, so this should do things like set the modal title to false. Although, is this needed? Could I just have an item ref up here instead? Const item equals ref, which is an item, not a blurb, right? We're gonna import this type item. We can set its value to be null. And then in here, item.value is this. No, just set item.value to be the await here. Right? What is this pissy about? Oh, get item is a promise void. No. Incorrect. Can I give this a return type? How do I give this a return type? It's like what? Promise item or null. Yeah, we don't want this. What the fuck's that about? There you go. That's more my style. Yeah, and then get items should very specifically return promise. No, it doesn't return anything. It sets a value. My bad. My B. MB. So now we can get this item. Closed modal should be not that. I don't care about that. And then inside this modal overlay, I can define what this item will look like. I don't have an item description component, so I'm going to define it loosely now. Div. We need an H1. We are heading? Yeah, sure. H1. VF item. Rarity is the item rarity. Type is the type. Magic is the magic. What else do we have? PVF. Subtype. I guess this needs to be a VF type as well. Subtype does not exist. Piss off. Yes, it does. VF. Rarity might not exist either. No, magic does exist, I know this. Is its weight. Why is it trying to... It's really, really hoping I want to put a VF there. Which I do not. So we got weight, we got... value. And then value unit, right? Okay, this is bugging me. Why is the... It really wants a VF there. That's just not correct, friends. Under item, why is subtype not on here? type should not be nullable. That's fucking stupid. Rarity shouldn't be nullable. I'm not allowing nullable here. Okay, that should be fixed. To rebuild the DB. Items, here we go. So we got value, we got value unit, we need equipable. No, we don't need equipable, that's for character sheets. Attunement. Requires attunement. Oh. Item dot attunement, which is a boolean. PV if attunement requirement, that is correct. I don't remember display its granted features yet. We'll think about that later. Charges, recharge. Quantity is not important for this. That gets applied when you add it to your inventory. Actions do exist, but I don't think they're implemented yet. Description. Okay, this should be fine for now. This gets the concept out there. Ooh, subtype is missing. Where at? I guess subtype does have to be. I guess subtype makes sense for not always being there, because it's only used for tools, right? And then items. Okay. And then I think once this is working, it'll be the last thing I do because my lungs are really rattling. It's quite uncomfortable. I need to go get up and walk around for a while. Now in OpenSheet, I need to create a new admin. Right, that's not working for some reason. Postman. And it crashed. That's so bizarre. Preferences, items. So now if I click on club, it gives me... This is not correct. I mean, it is correct. It's just not correct in the slightest. I've also got no way to close it. You know, for something called modal overlay, it really doesn't seem like it worked. This doesn't seem correct. I've got some idea though. I think I just implemented things incorrectly. Okay. Open modal. No, that's probably what I needed, right? I need a reference to the modal overlay. That's it. What is its type? Do I need to import that somewhere? No? Shouldn't need to. Oh, I just didn't import it. I'm such a jackass. Okay, does that fix it? Oh, you can't see this. I forgot to click the button. Now we get an overlay. It doesn't look correct or good in any capacity. And this description is not correct either, by the way. This should be the action. Why bad? Why is it bad? Components do I have to fix? Why can't you see this? I thought I closed it properly. Just centered item? Generic display box is probably what I want. And then I probably want that in here. Where is this used? Probably used here. Okay, so yeah, just template, header, and content. Header, and header will contain the name. Content will contain all of this stuff. And then I can cut all of this. and save it, and we can go to here now. There we go. You get to see the club, its rarity, all this jazz. It'll be much better displayed in the final version, but that should be good enough for now. Just to get the stuff on the page. One sheet. That's not a description of paper, Claude. That is the quantity. Wait, why does paper have a weight of 0? Paper weighs quite a bit. Pole. Description. None. Pot. Pouch holds smaller items. Thank you. Priest pack contains a backpack. This is not correct. I will need to add a new item that's like pack or something, and then it gets JSON data. That'll be later though, when I figure that out. Alright. My lungs are starting to hurt, so I'm gonna call it here. Why is this different? Why is cantrip and level 1 different? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We're calling it. This is the end of the stream. Have a good night.